Welcome back to PRN Test Drive. I'm James, and I've spent my entire week driving this 2025 BMW X2 M35i. And I gotta tell you that this X2 is a vehicle that needs to be experienced to truly get the full picture, because when you first walk up, you see like these sporty accents, you see the quad exhaust, you see the little wing in the back, you see the M badges on the exterior and the interior absolutely everywhere. But then you take a look under the hood, you don't see an inline six and you don't see a big screaming V8. What you do get is a 4-cylinder. So for me, at first impression, it made me ask the question, is this vehicle acting the part of something that's extremely sporty and dynamic and fun to drive? Or can it actually play that part as well? So today, let me take you through this BMW X2 M35i. Let me allow you to experience it through me. Let's hop on the road, but first, I want to get into some details.
Don't let size fool you. This little 4-cylinder engine packs enough horsepower to keep you on a first-name basis with local law enforcement. Powering our BMW X2 M35i is a 2-liter BMW M TwinPower turbo inline 4-cylinder producing 312 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. But I honestly think that BMW is under-promising in order to over-deliver here. As you'll see a little bit later on, this 312 horsepower feels like a whole lot more. We're also getting all-wheel drive and a really responsive and quick dual-clutch automatic transmission. So here's what you get if you don't add any additional packages to your BMW X2 M35i. It starts with a base MSRP of $60,400, and you're going to get the engine that I just told you about, the M Sport brakes in blue, the adaptive M suspension, those quad tailpipes, the BMW iDrive with BMW OS 9 and Quick Select, a Harman Kardon sound system, which actually sounds very good since the cabin is so quiet, the light aluminum hexacube trim, and that M rear spoiler that you're going to notice right away. Now, if you want to have your X2 M35i look exactly like the one you see in this video, well, here is how it's spec'd. I have the Premium Enhanced package, which will give you the interior camera, the parking assistance, plus the included surround view, which is the 360-degree camera, one heads-up display, the digital cockpit professional, the video augmented reality navigation, BMW drive recorder, and the Premium Essential package contents. So it's basically 2 packages combined into one. Obviously, this is going to be the more expensive one, running you an extra $5,500 Canadian. I've also got the M Sport Pro package, which takes those M Sport brakes, turns them red, also gives us the Shadowline headlights, and my favorite thing, the M Sports seats. I'll tell you why you absolutely have to get these in just a second. And we also get black exterior contents with this package. That is going to run you $2,500 Canadian. And the final package on this thing, the last one I've got, is the Advanced Driver Assistant package, which is going to give you a ton of things, but to highlight some of them, it has the Driving Assistant Professional, the Active Cruise Control with Stop and Go, 3-zone auto climate control, steering and lane control, and a whole bunch more. That package is going to run you $2,000 Canadian. Now, as for the additional options that I have, I've got the Vegas Red Metallic Paint Color. That's going to be another $900 Canadian, and I've got the 21-inch Y-spoke wheels, which are kind of like blacked out, which look really good. That's going to run you another $500 for a total as-tested price of $71,800 Canadian. Now, it's worth noting that that is without taxes, fees, or any dealer fees or anything like that. That is just straight up prices tested MSRP. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, the interior design I have is called the Black M Alcantara Vaganza, hopefully I'm not messing that up, with the blue contrast stitching. But there you go, that is all the details with the base, and if for whatever reason you want to spec it out like I've got it, that's how you do it. But let's take you on the road now, and let me show you what this thing really has.
All right, so in the driver's seat, the only place you want to be when you're driving an X2 M35i. And like I said, we want to find out if it's an actor or an absolute player in this thing. So let's see. So let me hold here my boost paddle. Let's go into full sport. I've got boost and let's go. So yeah, I don't think it's an actor at all. I think it is an absolute player. I think that after spending a week with this thing, I knew that was going to happen. I couldn't resist it. Of course, I've been ripping it like that all week. What are you, nuts? I've been doing that the entire time. And it's enough, like I said, to put us on a first name basis with law enforcement. I've not been on a first name basis with them. I've been very much on a no name basis. They don't know about me. But look, if I own this car long term, there's a chance that they may start to know about me. It's really, really quick for the size of vehicle that it is, for, you know, and also for how much space that it actually has. Once again, BMW have taken something that I wasn't expecting to be as fast as it was, because I said a 4-cylinder. Okay, 312 horsepower. All right. 312 horsepower, my left, you know what. I think it's got a lot more than that. I don't think BMW give you the full story there. And it shifts really quick. It's relatively aggressive. Yes, there is some pumped in noise there from the exhaust, but I don't believe that it's all pumped in. I think some of it is genuinely those 4 exhaust pipes giving us some theater. And look, I don't really care if it's pumped in. I like the theater, I like the drama, and I like the show as I'm piping down the road here. That's what I love BMW for. Like, they're just so good at creating ambiance when you drive. It's just not something you'll get out of an EV. And that's why I'll keep, you know, wanting to drive these cars and keep recommending that you drive them too. Now, in terms of handling, there is like quite a bit of body roll when you kind of shift. It does shift its weight a little awkwardly for me. It's not as tucked in as some of the other M Lite products that I've driven, but honestly, I don't care, because this is meant to get me from point A to point B really, really quickly and more fun. Like, it's just fun. And I'm not taking this X2 M35i on the track. So like, I don't really notice the body roll unless like I'm actively looking for it, and that's part of my job, is to see if it has any, in case, you know, some of you actually do want to take it out on the track. But look, for me, if I was actually in the market, genuinely wanted to buy this thing, I don't think I mind too much that it has slightly a bit of body roll, because it sounds very good. And I'm going up a hill there. So like, it just sounds really, really good. And I think it would be good in the winter as well in terms of drive wise. I feel like it handles itself well in like lower traction stuff. I have driven it in the rain, have had absolutely no problem. I think this one, you're going to need some decent winter tires. I usually say that. It's a good rule of thumb for all vehicles, but you know, this one I think would be really benefit from it. You'd probably get away with pretty much everything in this guy, and you're probably going to be safe with that. So no problems there. So let's see this 312 horsepower again. Let's go. Oh my God, I got all of it that time. It's not a face melting kind of speed. Again, for what the vehicle is, it's really cool, and you can't stop doing that. And I promise you, if you drive this vehicle, you as well will not be able to stop doing that. It's just so much fun. Ride quality as well is quite good. I don't notice the bumps too much. Obviously, the huge craters that are potholes in the Quebec roads here, you're gonna feel them. I have been bounced around a little bit, but I'm kind of expecting that, especially the way that this thing performs. I'm kind of expecting a little compromise. I gotta give it a little bit of room there. I can't expect it to delete all the bumps, especially in the price point. I don't know if that's something that would be realistic to expect, but honestly, like, it's not bad. Like, it handles the little bumps that I'm hitting right now really, really well, even in full sport mode. So I really don't have any huge complaints. I wouldn't take this thing off-roading, that's for sure. Now, I believe the ride quality is so good, partly, in fact, because of these seats. These seats are really, really comfortable. Again, you're gonna have to option a package for it. You know, it's not gonna come standard with the M35i. You're gonna have to put a little bit more cash in. But I think when it comes to the package that comes with the seats, that is going to be the one to get, because these seats are so comfortable, and also they look really, really good. They complement the overall design of the X2 M35i really, really well. I love sitting in them. I love the way they hold me in center, even if there is a little bit of body roll. Like I said, these seats absolutely hold me right where I need to be, and it just really works with this interior overall. Interior wise, I think it's really good. I really like this steering wheel. It's nice and beefed up. Feels like, you know, a very sporty steering wheel. It's also got the red band on top, and it's got like the M colored stitching throughout, and an M badge right on there as well. So like I said, M badges absolutely everywhere. And I really like that there's physical controls, physical buttons for most things. So I can control my gauge cluster with them. I can also control my heads up display. I can control some of the media, my phone stuff with it. So that's all very good. And check out these paddle shifters. They are plastic, but they have like this like textile kind of rubberized like grip on the back, so like you can always be accurate with your shifts. Not something I can say I've had before or felt before, but I really like it now that I've felt it. Very nice touch. So I've been just doing that randomly all week. Even though I'm trying to talk about interior, but I just have to rip it. So when it comes to the gauge cluster, there's a lot of bezels in this area, and like in low light like this, I can kind of notice that they didn't use up the whole screen. They didn't really need to, but to match, I guess, the infotainment display and to make it all look like one, they kind of had to shorten it. It's a little weird looking sometimes, but in the full daylight, you really don't notice it. And there's definitely enough information on this screen where I'm not really missing. I don't feel like I need more screen. It's just there's just that big bezel that might bother some people, but doesn't necessarily bother me, but worth noting anyways. And it's the standard stuff. You can kind of change the theme. When it goes into sport mode, it'll go red. You can hear the downshifts, I hope, because they're really entertaining. Yeah, so you know, it shows your gas level, your engine temps, different things like that. You can obviously change the different things to see fuel economy and stuff like that. Speaking of fuel economy, since the last refill, 14.9 liters per 100 kilometers. I can explain. I don't think your real life fuel economy will be like that. I think I just rip it around. I'm always in sport mode. I start it up, bang, put it in sport mode, thank you very much. And then the other times I'm also in the sport transmission mode as well. So I'm just full sport mode all the time. I have to. I love the sound of it. I love the way that it turns on and comes alive. I love that, and I want to experience it. I only get this car for a week, so you'll probably get used to put it in sport mode there, here and there, and you'll probably have much lower fuel economy. So that's my explanation there. Now, if you move over and you look at the digital infotainment display, it's kind of like the classic BMW software. And when I say it's geared towards a younger crowd, this is maybe where that happens, because I don't feel like the younger crowd cares as much as the older crowd about physical buttons. I am a mix. I still like to consider myself a part of the younger crowd community at the ripe age of 29 years old. I think I could still speak for us. I am one of the young people that really enjoy physical buttons, and I don't particularly enjoy the touch buttons. And if they are going to be in a vehicle, they need to work well, which for this BMW here, they work very well. I really haven't had any glitches. I'm able to control my HVAC from here. I really only have any 2 physical buttons for my HVAC controls. Everything else, heated seats, heated steering, that's all going to be through the infotainment. And it's worked. I mean, I really only had the AC on this week because it's been extremely hot. But yeah, it's worked fine. The only thing that I'll say with this infotainment display and with this infotainment software, I do feel like it may need some over-the-air software updates, which it can do, so that's good news, because particularly using my wireless Apple CarPlay, it sometimes will disconnect, not connect at all, and I have to kind of like force it or tell it to do so. It's something that I feel like could be solved with just adding wired connection, because honestly that's what I use anyways. But it was annoying at certain parts of the week, because I would get in and wait for my CarPlay to connect and wait, and then okay, I get tired of waiting and I got to go in. It's just not something that should happen at this point, and it's not something that I think BMW wants. So the good thing is it's a lot of software related to that, I think, so they could probably patch it out eventually, and hopefully they do. But overall, for the infotainment system, it's relatively easy to use. You're just going to need to spend a little bit of time with it just to figure out where your 360-degree camera is, stuff like that. By the way, the camera's very good quality, no problem. I got 3D car wash, I got the surround view, no problem. It's not a hard vehicle to park, so I don't feel like 360-degree camera is absolutely necessary in this, but we do have it if you've got pretty much all the packages that I do. It's good to have anyways. But yeah, you're gonna need to sit down and really kind of go through things, learn where things are. Once you do that, it becomes very easy and a very simple process. Now, in terms of backseat, I have just enough room for my head. The roofline kind of comes down a little bit because of the trunk space, and it kind of compromises that a little bit. But honestly, I'm not gonna spend much time back there. There's plenty of space for my daughter and my wife back there, and all the baby stuff that I have and need whenever we go out for a day trip or just to the store or something. I can fit it all in there with absolute ease, which is always good news. And the rear seats are also really good looking. They have that blue stitching, and they're quite comfortable as well. BMW really never disappoints with its seating comfort in the front seat nor the back seat, so that's very nice. So overall, interior-wise, I'm quite happy. I like all the materials, I like the trim, and I even have like this little M badge right here behind my head that lights up, not all the time, but like when it's dark enough out, it lights up. There's a slight bit of ambient lighting in here as well. It looks pretty cool at night, but these seats, I'm just such a fan. They are the highlight of it. And if you can afford it, definitely option these seats for your X2 because you will not regret it. I'm just a fan of the light up stuff. I just think it's cool. All right, so next up, I want to talk about the exterior design because by now you've definitely seen that no, it doesn't just look the part, it can actually play it as well, and it does, but it actually looks really good. What you're looking at is the paint color here in the Vegas red metallic. BMW really never disappoints in terms of its paint colors. I'm always impressed with all of the ones I get, even the boring black and gray ones. They still do something a little different to make it really pop and shine with its design. Now, got an M badge in the front here, got the shadow line headlights as well that look really good. There are some actual vents here, which are nice to see, and I've got the illuminated front kidney grille. But I really like it with all these packages included, of course. But if you do have a $71,800 Canadian lump of money that's burning a hole in your pocket, this would be the way to go. I mean, if you take a look at it from the back, you have quad exhaust, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. You're gonna notice it right away. Everybody notices it right away. You also notice that little wing, the black accents as well, the nice 21-inch wheels, which are also optional, as well as those M brake calipers that look phenomenal. It gives this SUV or this crossover SUV a very, very good look to it. I just can't stop looking at it. And again, it has the performance to back it up, at least from what I can feel. Now, in terms of trunk space, it's also really good there as well. It's an automatic opening and closing tailgate that you've got a surprising amount of room. There's even a little movable floor, so if you have something a little taller, you can fit it in there. And it's got room for people and things, although it doesn't necessarily look like it's that big of a presence. This actually reminds me of a smaller version of the X6, another SUV which I thoroughly enjoyed driving. Now, if you take a look at it straight up from the side profile, you'll notice it has more of a coupe SUV look. Kind of reminds me, again, of that X6 design, but I really do like the keyless entry here. When I walk away, it locks. When I walk back up, it unlocks, no problem. I never really have to fumble with a key fob or worry about sensors. It just does everything for me, and I think that's really, really nice. So overall, from a design point of view, you are gonna have to put in a couple of packages to get it at the exact spec that I have it in here. But if you have the budget, you will absolutely not be disappointed. I am such a fan of this thing and the way it looks. If I had the money, I might wanna own one myself. And I feel like I say that about quite a bit of BMWs as of late, and I think that's probably a good thing. All right, so there you have it. That is absolutely everything I wanted to go over with you guys for the X2 M35i. It is definitely a vehicle that you need to experience, and if you've made it this far in the video, well, you probably have, and you probably get the full picture. That this X2 M35i is absolutely not just acting the part. It absolutely does not just look fancy. It pretty much is, and it has the horsepower to absolutely back it up, and even the driving dynamics to back it up. It is something that BMW is so good at. And I've driven kind of two BMWs, two completely different BMWs. One's a sedan, one's a crossover SUV thing, and honestly, they both have the same characteristic in the fact that they are both very engaging to drive in their own right. One was a plug-in, one was a full gas, and really close in proximity. They are both fun in different ways, and that's an excellent job for BMW. Not all their cars feel the same. And I feel like that's cool because there are some brands where I can get into a different car that they call a different model that feels the exact same. Not BMW, at least not so far. So this BMW is a great vehicle that'll get you from point A to point B in the absolute most fun way possible. It's got pumped in audio. It's got a little bit of fashion and a little bit of drama in the back with those quad exhausts. It's very much geared to a younger crowd, and me, I think being the younger crowd, really does appreciate that. I think it's an awesome vehicle to own, to drive. Of course, if you have $71,000 or just over that, and you're looking for something that's not necessarily a sedan, but kind of looks sporty and has space like a full-size SUV, the X2 should be high on your list because it is an absolute riot to drive. And I hope they keep making these things because they're really fun. And I honestly never really heard that many people bragging about an X2, but I think maybe as this vehicle catches on, more people will start to brag about it because they are very, very cool. At least now when I see them on the road, I have a newfound appreciation for them. Of course, I always worry about reliability, and that's not something that I can speak to. And obviously, with it being an expensive vehicle to start with, the repairs are probably also going to be relatively expensive. That's just kind of how the way things go. But I guess if you can afford the vehicle, you can probably afford the repair costs if there are any. But of course, I have to ask you guys to let me know how that is because I have no idea. For a week, no reliability issues, no gremlins other than that weird Apple CarPlay thing disconnect. But that's the only thing I had to complain about. Everything else was just fun. I just enjoyed my time with it. And I hope you enjoyed your time watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of the spec? What do you think about the price point? Do you believe that it is also playing the part and not just acting the part of a sport vehicle? I really want to know your thoughts. As always, make sure you like if you want to see more cars just like this on the channel. That being said, I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.